No, 2 days after that, because I mean I was really into Eagles, and
but
that was
right
painful.
now it won't touch you that much.
Oh, I will eat before the game.
Interesting. What we have to do, we talked about all the winners at the FIFA World Cup. You know, you're talking about Uruguay in 1930, Argentina, Brazil, all of them. We're going to be showing that again now. I mean, the final games. Just watch the final games. Look at how it's really gone over the years. Sit back, relax, enjoy this, and we are going to come back here and dissect some of them. Enjoy.
The modern game of football has spanned 3 centuries, 2 millennia. A language understood by all, it has transcended age, race, colour and wealth to become the world's most popular sport. Even space, the last great frontier, has been breached. But despite its universality, football is still dominated by Europe and South America. Begging the question, where will the future challenges come from? Only 7 nations have won the World Cup. It's a privileged club, a club to which only a select few have gained access. For over 200 countries, it's a prize that remains tantalizingly out of reach, leaving an elite group to dominate the game. So what does it take to gain membership to this hallowed club?
Okay, what some have requested for is a pack program today, like I told you, but we'll do 1 or 2 things. Some said, Croatia, how dangerous can they be? Sit back again, watch this against Germany. They defeated Germany, and the 2 goals from the 2 ends were clinical. So the Super Eagles have to watch this. We have to be very, very careful. Watch this.
In the second half of the 20th century, the Germans never went more than 2 World Cups without reaching the final. Defeat in the quarter-finals in both 1994 and 1998 was their worst performance since before the Second World War.
Wir haben große Probleme.
I mean, Croatia, are you scared?
Let me say that in that group, the team that I really worry about is actually Iceland.
FIFA ranking up.
Yeah, not besides FIFA ranking. We saw them at the European Championships. It's a very, very organized side. It's a very, very big side, and they're very physical as well. We got to watch the game against them. They are highly organized. Croatia, skillful
First
team.
game, and that's the first game.
And exactly.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and we must not. Whatever happens, we must not lose the game. But you see, the thing is, I think Nigeria will be playing Croatia at a good time, because their engine room are in their 30s now.
But we have to. It's best to win your first game.
It's best to win. The important thing is I don't think it's best to win, all right, but don't lose.
Exactly.
Don't lose. Okay, and if we can play in a way that we don't lose that game, now everybody knows what to expect. Argentina, yes, they've had great results,
and they always beat Nigeria. FIFA World Cup, not friendly.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. FIFA World Cup.
So are we going to beat them now?
Well, I can't sit down here and say that we're going to beat them now, but I think we know how to beat them now.
In the friendly.
No, well, you can say in the friendly. We just need to translate that same thing, onto the pitch, at the FIFA thing.
Well, maybe I might talk like somebody naive, like we're so sorry. The last friendly we beat them. One character was not there.
Well, true, and that's the best player in the world.
Some are going to call in and say it's Ronaldo. And we have to ask this, is something that we bring up here a lot of times. Is up till now, it looks like for eternity it's going to cause this same controversy. Pele and Maradona, who is the best ever?
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. If you know why, I'll tell you a simple story. Why a lot of people did not see Pele play. Okay, and I'm talking the tapes.
Exactly.
It's because of the racism that went on in Brazil. A lot of his tapes were recorded over, so you can't see a lot of
Pele.
Pele. So you can't see a lot of the games that he played, except the games that he played in Europe. Don't forget that this is don't forget that that's what I mean. That when I say played in outside of Brazil, and that they have those ones, and you can tell that this was a gifted player. Of course, Maradona, fantastic player as well. But if I were to make a choice, it would be Pele.
You are talking about Pele now. I'm sure we both remember two of his very funny antics. I mean, from his own part of the pitch, he saw the goalkeeper was
off his line. So
I'm going to leave you to say that again. So what now happened next?
Well, I think he played that lob. He played that lob.
Almost correct.
He played that lob. But we've seen players, do that. I think we've seen Rooney, these days. I think Beckham also did that.
David Beckham scored it.
Beckham also did that.
And there was the other one you were talking about how he came. The ball here.
Left the ball. Yes, he left. It completely left. He beat the keeper without even.
To us, it was a goal already.
There's only one other player who beats goalkeeper without touching the ball regularly, and that's our own Nwankwo Kanu.
Wow!
You should ask the Cameroonian goalkeeper when he was at Deportivo, I think.
Yes, something about Kanu.
Kanu, amazing.
So you've not finished the Pele. Okay, he went. He put the ball. The goalkeeper came. He put it the other way, and the ball missed
the right side of the post. The ball missed the right. But I mean, those are great moments. Those are great moments. It's genius at work, really.
All right, we need to see the genius at work. These two examples we gave. So relax, watch this. The genius, Pele, something else. Even he will never have known how he got all this kind of magic in his blood. It's amazing. This is Pele for you. It can be this deadly.
Pele has given the FIFA World Cup many precious moments. Two of the most memorable never even resulted in a goal. In the 1970 semi-final, he left Mazurkovic, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, suitably embarrassed without actually touching the ball. His follow-up shot drifted wide of the post, almost as if he had done it on purpose to remind the watching audience that Pele was only human after all. Earlier in the 1970 tournament against Czechoslovakia, Pele had tried something even more spectacular. He noticed that Victor, the Czech goalkeeper, had strayed off his line, so from fully 50 yards Pele attempted to catch him out. He missed by a fraction, but the reaction to it was one of astonishment that he'd even attempted, a sign of the greatness of the man.
Okay, I'm not sure our main guest today will like the next segment. It's about the bad boys. They go in there, kick the hell out of you. They don't want to play fairly. They know if you are meeting a Pele, Maradona, Ronaldo, Messi, you cannot be playing very gentlemanly football with them. So we're going to show it first. I don't know how, okay, I'm going to cover my face because the way they went about things, it reminds us of a player, stationery stores, then barbed wire. I'm sure you remember barbed wire.
I remember barbed wire.
It just comes at you.
I remember barbed wire. Even my son will remember barbed wire because I think he played a friendly against barbed wire. And he was 6 feet in the air. I said, well, now you know barbed wire.
Honestly. But he never made it to the national team. Or
yeah, I mean,
tough defender.
Tough defender, all right, but it doesn't just take being tough alone to be a great defender. So that's it.
All right, these are the bad boys. Most of them, unfortunately for their opponents, made it to the national teams of their countries, and the opponents, they really know what a barbed wire in the international sense was. These are the big boys because they are multiple. Even Brazil in 1974, they didn't have this fluent team that they used to have, and the defenders were, they almost killed their opponents. It was really terrible. Johan Cruyff will tell you, enjoy this. This is, if you are not hard-hearted, if you are not strong emotionally, please do not watch this.
Throughout history, the bad boy has made his mark on society, and that includes sporting arenas. It's not big and it's not clever, and if you have children watching, then this footage may alarm. It's time for the FIFA World Cup villains. So where do you start? Well, as good a place as any is the 1966 FIFA World Cup in England. When Brazil touched down on English soil, you see, they'd won the 2 previous World Cups. Something clearly had to be done to stop them, and their Group 3 rivals Portugal had just a thing in mind: stop Pelé by fair means or foul. It was decidedly more foul than fair, as the world's best player was kicked out of the tournament, and with him, Brazil. Particular praise in the hatchet job went to Portugal's Moraes. Only following orders, but no doubt about it, a World Cup villain. Brazil, though, haven't always been the ones at the sharp end. In 1970, they'd charmed the world with their football, but 4 years later, their successors sullied the country's reputation with some X-rated defending. They weren't alone that World Cup, but the game against Holland in particular stands out for the wrong reasons. When defender and captain Pereira was sent off for that tackle, one that Bruce Lee would have been proud of, his actions towards both the decision and the Dutch fans were not quite in keeping with the principles of fair play. History records, fortunately, that Holland won the game. Pereira wasn't the first to take his time leaving a football field. In '66, Antonio Ratin talked himself into a sending off, then hung around for a 10-minute chat with the referee and anybody else who cared to listen. The walk of shame seemed endless, and to think he walked on the Royals' red carpet too. Physical encounters have featured largely in FIFA World Cup history. The Battle of Bordeaux in '38 between Brazil and Czechoslovakia ended with 3 sent off and Czech goalkeeper František Planička playing through the game with a broken arm. In 1954, the Brazilians were at it again in the Battle of Bern. A full-blooded affair with Hungary saw a player from each side sent off for fighting. Rumour has it that at one point a football match broke out which Hungary won 4-2. It would be remiss of us not to include Argentina in this list of bad boys. When they took to the field for the final of the 1990 FIFA World Cup, they did so without the suspended Caniggia, which severely hampered their chances of beating Germany. So they opted for negative tactics based on the policy of no pasarán, thou shalt not pass. Pedro Monzon, a second-half substitute, did his bit dutifully and became the first player to be red-carded in the FIFA World Cup final. And he was followed by Gustavo Dazzotti, who became the second. Down to 9 men, the only thankful thing for neutrals was that Germany won the match, fittingly due to a penalty. The Argentinians somehow felt hard done by. Tears were their only consolation, but for Maradona, the decline had only just begun.
The player Diego Maradona of the Argentinian national team has therefore violated the provisions of the doping control regulations in the match Argentina-Nigeria.
15 months. That's how long Maradona got after testing positive at USA 94 for banned substances contained in an energy drink. Maradona, who'd already treated us to a flashback of his former self during the tournament, was finished in FIFA World Cup terms. Every picture tells a story. This was the abiding one of USA 94. Not the only villain of USA 94 though. Let's not forget Mauro Tassotti, whose elbow made contact with Luis Enrique's face to bloody effect. There was no punishment at the time, but Tassotti was later banned for 8 games and never played for Italy again.
Okay, we are back. I mean, this is gory, not nice to look at.
You know, the thing about that is that if you look at the foul counts, you know, against the teams, you'll see that it's almost like it's part of their game plan. That, you know, listen, we're not going to be able to match this guy's skill for skill. So the thing, we have to get really physical and roughen them up. You know, and we saw it.
But if the referees should have done more.
Well, you know, the rules have changed, you know, slightly, and they now tend to protect the players better. But in those days, you know, the rules were, you know, allowed you know, all those kind of heavy stuff, you know, and all that. So I mean, I remember locally there's the other player that they call 10-10. You know why they call him 10-10? You know why they call him 10-10? You know,
because we had the man out. All of a sudden, it has to be 10-10, not 11-10 at the Nations Cup. Bright Omokaro.
And he got the man. He did the
Sunday Gboyega, when we had real strong
men at the
defenders.
back. Yeah.
But
like I said, defending is not about, you know,
hacking down everybody.
No, you know, you need to defend with this. The important thing is to make sure the ball doesn't go into your net, or it doesn't stay in your dangerous area for too long. Otherwise, it will find its way into the net.
We've talked about people hacking strikers they believe are real dangerous to them. But what we are going to watch will really get you very angry, because we're talking about the pretenders. Nobody touched them, they're rolling on the floor, a lot of stuff. Just watch this. I'm sure you will not be laughing after that.
Feigning injury. Now there's something which has crept in steadily down the years. You know, the divers, the ones who look as if they've been shot by an AK-47, or even worse, a Roberto Carlos free kick. Take Croatia's Slaven Bilic. Now, Bilic has always been able to look after himself, but when he and Laurent Blanc had a minor tangle during the semi-final of France '98,